Brandies? I'm Stan from RandomTens, and if you're like me, you probably loved exploring every inch of every game you owned. Some call it a problem, I call it childhood. Either way, there are loads of secret areas, items, and characters in early Nintendo games. And today, we'll be taking a look at the craziest secrets and mysteries revealed so far. Let's do it. The Ocarina of Time Triforce quest is pretty much the Zelda equivalent of using strength on the truck to find Mew. It's simply a schoolyard urban legend in which avid Zelda players can actually obtain the Triforce in the game. This is impossible, but a few beta screenshots of Link holding his Precious and the item screen having what looks like a spot for the almighty triangle had hackers in the early 2000s trying everything to find it. While doing so, it was discovered that there's actually a 37th heart piece not accessible without a cheating device buried in the Gerudo Fortress, which, although not exactly the Triforce, is pretty cool nonetheless. One of the grandfathers of gaming Easter eggs, this one seems so simple, and yet it took 26 years for Don Hodges and the rest of the world to discover it. Basically, to unlock the initials LMD on the Donkey Kong title screen, you must get a specific score, lose all of your lives on the last level, and then immediately set the game difficulty to 4, which just seems like a ton of hard work to see some initials. Mario Kart 64 is one of those games that you can pop in at any time and play for hours, which is exactly what you'd need to do to experience this next secret. If you beat your opponents in a race and let the winning results theme loop 64 times in a row, you'll be treated to this secret song. But in order to actually hear the song, it'll take approximately 55 minutes. Even though nowadays Capcom treats Mega Man with the same amount of respect Sega shows all their non-Sonic franchises, at one point they ruled the 16-bit era with the Mega Man and Street Fighter franchises. So it was no surprise to fans of both series that in Mega Man X and Mega Man X2, you could obtain the Hadoken and Shoryuken respectively. The secret, however, was in how to obtain these legendary moves. To acquire the Hadoken, you must obtain all of the upgrades and play through the Armadillo stage 4 times before an upgrade capsule will be awaiting you at the end. And in Mega Man 2, you can find the Shoryuken by luring a bat to the section with 2 ladders and using it as a platform in order to continue upwards. After a few quick battles, the Dragon Punch is yours. It's not very often that a secret actually propels a game to bestseller status, but that's exactly what Mew did for the original Pokemon games back in the late 90s. Of course, we all know the lovable 151 nowadays, but originally nobody except for Game Freak employee Shigeki Morimoto, who programmed the mythical Pokemon with 3 weeks left before the game's release, had any idea that the coding for such an encounter even existed. After sales held steady, the higher-ups at Nintendo were finally made aware of the DNA Pokemon and held a limited event through CoroCoro Comics for only 20 players to obtain a legal Mew. It was at this moment the Pokemon series really took off, and with the help from this one impulsive decision, it is now the second best-selling franchise of all time. Before Halo or the latest Call of Duty games made billions from the FPS market, there was one series that helped set the tone. GoldenEye was a game with amazing action and some pretty amazing secrets. For starters, using a cheating device allows players to reach a hidden island in the very first level of the game. The island was scrapped during final development of the project, but without enough time, the programmers opted not to erase the island, but rather the boat that allows gamers to get there. On top of this and many other secrets, the game also includes a fully working ZX Spectrum emulator that features 10 playable games and was discovered only in the last 5 years. How could this game not make the list? First off, the no power suit outfit, triggered by clearing Metroid in under 3 hours, is still one of the greatest revelations in gaming history. Secondly, Metroid's password system is so deep that some players are still finding new codes to this day. Between Justin Bailey to Narpus Sword and even one referencing Dragon Ball Z, this game is a secret hunter's dream come true, and obviously good enough for the number 4 spot. Even with the dedicated community, this secret took 7 years to find because it's so insanely specific. In Super Smash Bros. Melee for the GameCube, you can legally play as and control Master Hand if you trigger a glitch where no character is selected. The easiest way to perform this glitch is to have 2 controllers with one plugged into slot 3, but even still, this one is very detailed and will likely take a few tries. If you want, I'll leave a link in the description detailing exactly how to pull off the process. But if you succeed, you can basically play as Glover on steroids, which is something I think every Nintendo fan needs to experience. Oh yeah, you guys must have known this one was going to make the list. The Chris Houlihan room in A Link to the Past may be one of the coolest and most terrifying glitches in all of gaming. I mean, imagine for a second you're a 10-year-old in 1991 and you're just using your Pegasus boots across Hyrule, when all of a sudden you trigger this crazy failsafe where you end up in a blue room with some rupees. You tell your friends, but they don't believe you, and you have no idea how to ever get back. It's like the video game equivalent of Narnia. This spatial anomaly was deemed the Chris Houlihan room after a young boy who won a contest in Nintendo Power. It's activated when the game can't figure out where to send Link, and glitches to the failsafe room. And regardless if you meet Aslan or not, this legendary secret is definitely worthy of the number 2 spot. There's no denying that in the 90s at least, Rare was one of the most diverse and accomplished game companies. But they also had a knack for driving players mad. The reason Banjo-Kazooie's stop and swap feature is the number 1 secret on this list is because us completionists and the early internet knew it existed, and yet nobody could figure out how to access it, until 2006 that is. During the end credits cutscene, Mumbo mentions an ice key and secret eggs that, when collected, would pay off in the sequel game Banjo-Tooie. But nothing ever came of it. We could see the ice key in Freeze-Easy Peak, and we knew where at least a few of these eggs were hidden, but damn if we just couldn't figure out how to reach them. As it turned out, they were meant to be used as part of a stop and swap transfer feature in which you could share data between both games, which sounds like a way more unsafe version of the Sonic 3 and Knuckles lock-on technology. And that's probably a reason why the feature was canned, up until the iconic Sequelogy's HD re-release on the Xbox Arcade. But in terms of Nintendo consoles, there was nothing more mysterious and elusive than the stop and swap secrets of the Banjo-Kazooie franchise, and for my money, and years of frustration, it's earned its number 1 spot on our countdown. Well, that's all the time we have for today's countdown, but if you're interested, we probably have a few more that you might enjoy. Make sure to leave a comment letting us know your favorite secret in a Nintendo game, and share this video if you got any enjoyment out of it. Helps a lot. Next week's video will be about Amiibo, so enthusiasts look forward to that. And as always, happy hunting baby rhinos.